everyone. Welcome to our next episode of our Sunday preparation for the liturgy of the Word. Today, this Sunday, this weekend, I shouldn't say today. This weekend is a very special weekend for us in a Catholic Church because we start something new, but at the same time we are opening to what we already know and what we are about to even discover from the things that the Lord has prepared for us for this new year. So, first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to all of us who are watching, of our community, and of course the whole church, because that's for our universal church. And Jim, to you too. Happy New Year.
Happy
How
New
are
Year
you?
to you, Father. Happy New Year. Yeah, isn't it? That's a fun way to kind of confuse your coworkers, your your friends who maybe are not as liturgically inclined to say Happy New Year, and they're like, "You're a month early." And I'm like, "No, I follow the church." No. So yeah, in the church's liturgical calendar, the first Sunday of Advent is the first Sunday of the new liturgical year. So yeah, if you want to have some fun and confuse some people, go ahead and wish them a happy new year this weekend.
Yeah, and I bet some of you will say, is it April Fools or something?
Yeah.
No, there is a beautiful way actually that you can share the knowledge that you have about the Catholic faith and how the Catholic Church works. Because they will be like, what's happening? Why is it? But I'm going to leave that for you. It is, as you can tell, I'm excited. Whenever there is a beginning of the new year in the church, I get very excited. Um, Simply because of what the Lord is prepared for me for this new year. I mean, I I know that we'll be celebrating January 1st and everything, but for me as a priest personally, I'm like, okay, well, I'm counting the years really by liturgical year, and I'm looking on the my homilies, my scripture knowledge, my growth in the spirituality. So this is really like hitting me with a new what is it that the Lord prepared for me, and at the same time it's bringing me back to the readings that we will hear this coming weekend, and from the first reading from the book of Isaiah. We will hear all the way at the end of it, um, this beautiful sentence: "Yet, O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay and you are the potter. We are all the work of your hands." And as we hear the sentence, the Lord is going to speak to us through the lector. It reminds me of how I am being formed. The Lord has given me the chance, the life and the way how I am. He gave me the beginnings, but He has given me the chance to open up the book of my life. And of course, I'm probably not going to be able to open it in all 100%. Oh, that's just not possible. He's going to do that for me when the time comes. But He has given me, as He is giving to all of us, the very chance to see the beautiful life that we receive from God, God of life, God who has given all this to us, and especially the life. Um, and He is still forming us. This process is not over. This process began and it continues. And unfortunately, hey, I don't know you, but even in school or even on our work here in the church, there are things that will come out the right way. There are things that we need to work constantly on them. Um, and that's something that really speaks to me when I remember when I was starting to work with my father in his carpenter's shop. Even simple thing as cutting the wood straight. That was just not the thing at the beginning. All right, I was literally going this, and imagine having doors like this or a table. I mean, nowadays they do all this fancy, crazy, different things, different shapes, but still, to put it all together, to have the look of a great art piece, that takes a little bit of work. That takes different ways of forming it, different ways of approaching it, and the same is with our life. And even if we will put it in a very simple way, I'm gonna say I'm good. What does that mean? Where is this leading? I mean, I'm good. I'm a good person. You know, I take nothing from it. Okay. I'm a good person because I don't talk too much. Because I'm a good listener. I'm a good person because I don't kill anybody. Or I didn't kill anybody. I mean, there is so much to open from it. And God who is good, who is love, who gives us all these gifts, he says, yes, I am God who is good, who is merciful, forgiving, loving. But then he is opening those for us. And seeing that in him, and most especially in his son, who took our flesh to show us what it is to be the imitators of the one who has given us life, who opened all these possibilities for us. This is what we are being invited. And guess what? God started the work, he continues the work. But he's not doing it on his own. He's not doing it on his own because he wants us to be a part of building within us the very strength of holiness to which he's calling us, to that greatness. The good, yeah, he is good, man. He opens the greatness, and he wants us to be really the part of this great work of creation. And so, Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay, and you are the potter. We are all the work of your hands, and he is still forming us, shaping us. And so my thing of today is really, Lord, what is it that you are giving me again to my life, to my soul, to my everyday life, to my priesthood, to my vocation as Catholic, as a human being, what it is. And he is able to give me that answer, but I need to take a living part in that mission, in that work, in that very beautiful masterpiece that God has begun within me and within every single one of us. So that's where my mind is going on that first Sunday of Advent.
Well, I had some thoughts, and then you stole all my thoughts, Father. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just teasing. No, I thought that was good. I was thinking the same thing about the idea of formation because, you know, it's such a provocative image, the image of clay and the potter, right? There really is something very tangible to kind of consider because, as you said, Father, you know, you use the image of kind of working in your father's carpentry shop and kind of, you know, the intricacies of beautiful things being put together. And, you know, that whole process, anyone who's ever done anything of craftsmanship kind of quality knows that it's a messy process and it takes some time. And so yeah, there's an important reflection here, you know, for us to consider. And you know, I'm thinking of as we're starting this new year and we're kind of setting out on this new journey of Advent, and we're preparing for the coming of the Lord at Christmas and this great celebration, this great feast. And we're kind of, I think, trying to balance ourselves because, you know, culturally we're all seeing all the Christmas lights. We're all seeing all the things in the stores that are like, you know, Santa and whatever. And, you know, we're trying to kind of hold at a distance a little bit, like, okay, Christmas is coming. We're not there yet. And we're all kind of fighting that tension to balance and all of that stuff. And, you know, rightfully so, there's an excitement, there's an anticipation, but we're not there. And that process of kind of wanting to be somewhere, we're looking forward to being somewhere, but not there yet. There's a kind of natural, oh, come on, like, you know, angst. And I think the image that the prophet Isaiah gives to us at the end of this first reading, you know, can be rolled into this kind of sentiment, you know, yet, O Lord, you are our Father, we are the clay, you are the potter, and we're all the work of your hands. As you said, you know, Father, this very earthy kind of image of taking clay and kind of forming it and molding it, and, you know, seeing us, we know that the Lord is kind of forming us and molding us. And what, you know, comes to mind for me is, you know, I can remember in high school, I was not a good student at all. I was a very lazy student in a lot of ways. And I remember, I think my junior or senior year, you know, we could take a few electives. And I decided, looking through the catalog of classes available, what's the easiest possible class, or at least the class I thought was going to be the easiest. So I took sculpture, and I was like, great. I have no artistic ability. I was like, I'm going to take sculpture because it's probably easy. And, it kind of was easy. But anyway, I liked it so much. I took it again the next semester. Anyway, why is that, worth talking about now? Well, it's not really. But what comes to mind is I remember our teacher, Mr. Connors, I still remember his name, Mr. Connors, giving us a big block of clay, and we had to sculpt something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember taking this big block of clay, and it was like not easy to work with because, like, if you get a fresh block of clay and it's at first like really firm, and you really have to kind of like pound on it and really kind of like beat it up in order to try to loosen it up to get to the place where you can do the fine kind of intricate carving techniques, which I never got to that point because, again, I'm not an artist. But I do remember kind of trying to mold the clay and kind of like you're hitting it with a rolling pin, you're beating it with a stick, and you're really working it. And okay, bring it back to this image that we have from the scriptures, that we are the clay, you are the potter, speaking of the Lord. And that process, we all want to be that finely tuned kind of spiritual master. We kind of want to sit in the presence of God, reflecting in holiness and virtue and be the saints. And, God willing, we'll get there. But I think a lot of us, and definitely myself included, I'm this like stubborn, cold lump of clay. And sometimes the Lord is just like, I'm going to need to pound on you a little bit to kind of loosen up some things. And, I think we see this in our spiritual lives. These moments of difficulty, these moments of frustration, these moments of struggle, and we can kind of easily kind of in our naivete kind of look at the Lord and be like, what are you doing? Like, why is this so hard? And I think the Lord is, using the challenges and the difficulties of life to kind of to mold and form us. And I think that if we kind of, use the opportunity of Advent, which we're looking forward to Christmas. We want to get to the beauty, the fine-tuned, beautiful culmination, but there's kind of a working through process. And I think within the season of Advent, we tend to forget that it is a penitential season. We think of Lent as like, all right, 40 days of prayer and fasting and, take on the suffering and think of the cross. And of course, all that's fitting. But the church has always acknowledged that Advent also is a penitential season. It's part of the reason why purple is part of the color of, of the season. And so we should have an attitude of like we're being worked on, we're being purified, we're acknowledging the need to give some things up and to kind of prepare ourselves, not like let's bake cookies and prepare ourselves, but like let's prepare ourselves with like a kind of willingness to be, formed. You mentioned that, Father, like this need of formation, and formation is tough. But it's even tougher when we don't want to participate in formation. And, Father, you had years of seminary formation, kind of this formal, theological training and spiritual training. And I'm sure there was times in the seminary when it was tough, and the rector and the formators were probably like, pushing you. You got to change this way. You got to adjust that way. You got to grow this way. And I'm sure there's times, Father, I'm sure you could share some stories at some point about like when maybe it was more difficult. But through that process, you grow and you become more to the finished product that we're moving towards. And so, yeah, I think maybe during this intro first week of the season of Advent, there's something about this process of kind of recognizing that we need to grow, we need to form. And that process is going to involve, the Lord kind of, maybe inviting us to be roughed up a little bit so that we can kind of work out the kinks, to kind of take on the penance and to take on the sacrifice so that we can be, prepared for the coming of the Lord in a more perfect way. So I don't know, there's something, as always, to sit on and to kind of chew on a little bit this weekend.
And this is the beginning, so we can literally put everything on the side and just start from the beginning and see what the Lord has already given us, and then open it to a new book, to a new chapter. I mean, hey, we are with you through the whole year, and we do our best to bring you up a little bit the ways of the Lord that are in the scriptures. they are not far away from us. They are actually right for us in this daily routines, daily lives, family problems, churches problems. Everything is there, but yeah, there is need of our participation in it, and maybe not something. The Lord will invite you a little stronger this time. So let's hope. Let's hope there is so much more to open. But remember one thing: this year, Advent is 3 weeks. Sorry, 3 weeks. Okay, because the fourth week we'll celebrate Saturday evening and Sunday morning, and then we have Christmas vigil. So maybe that will stir up a little bit or push a little bit, the willingness to work. Not that the church is pushing us or the time. No, let's take our time. Do not rush what the Lord has given, because you want to together with Him open it to the limits. So anyway, that's all that we have. We'll see you all this Sunday for the celebration of the Eucharist to open up this beautiful new year, 2024 of our liturgical celebration. Right.
Bye, everyone.